Hello, I'm Henry R. Mockingbird, your host with the mustache. For those who don't know, I did a top 10 list called the Top 10 Worst Things in the Sequel Trilogy. And to be honest, I wish I could have done it better. And I prefer my Andor video overall, but I'm pretty much done talking about the sequels. Why? Because I have matured since 2022. And with that video, I was more so jumping on a bandwagon. Hey, sometimes you gotta admit to your mistakes in order to move forward. And since that video, the fan base has only gotten worse and worse and worse. I made it no secret that I don't like the sequels, but where I differ from a lot of these toxic windbags is that I at least acknowledge that the Star Wars sequels have a fan base. They have a younger generation who watch these movies and probably love them. Hell, there are little girls probably buying the Rey toys or Rey lunchboxes. And hating on the sequels used to be the hip, cool thing to do back in the late 2010s and early 2020s. But it's no longer cool. It's old and tired, as evidenced by when me and Jacob Martin did a reaction to the Critical Drinker's Glass Onion video, where it was nothing but him bashing on The Last Jedi, trying to plaster The Last Jedi's problems onto Glass Onion, and him making stabs at Rian Johnson, to the point where I was just like,
Shut up! Oh my god, I don't care!
I could have forgiven all of what Critical Drinker did in that video if the stabs he made were actually funny, but they weren't. After a while, they just got repetitive and just downright tired. Don't like the sequel trilogy. There have been other things in Disney's Star Wars that I liked, like Rogue One, Mandalorian, Andor, Ahsoka. Hell, I even liked Obi-Wan Kenobi in parts, and I even liked Mando Season 3 in parts, especially the Ahmed Best cameo. I can have that opinion, and you can disagree, and we don't need to get into a whole fist fight over my enjoyment for these shows and movies, because I actually have a life outside of Star Wars. Why am I done with the Star Wars sequels? Well, to be honest, this goes to a creator who I never thought I would have to bring up. Misanthropony. His hatred for The Last Jedi and the sequel trilogy has been well documented. His hatred for the sequel trilogy pretty much consumed him, to the point where he started attacking people for liking them, and he even went out of his way to insult his best friend Cartoonshi for liking The Last Jedi. And I don't want to become that person. That is the reason, amongst the others I just listed, why I'm done with the sequels. And I want to make it perfectly clear that I'm alright with anyone liking these movies, despite what the internet and basement dweller fanboys will tell you. They're not the Holocaust of cinema. I'm pretty much done talking about the sequel trilogy. Perhaps if the Ray movie ever comes out, or if these movies ever do get a nostalgic resurgence, I might return to them, but for now, I'm just gonna stick with the prequels and the original trilogy. The last sequel trilogy video I'm making is the top 10 good things in the sequels. A video I'm probably going to get murdered by the internet for, but I don't care at this point. I'm Henry R. Mockingbird, your host with the mustache, signing off.